How's it going? What's up? Today we are covering the GP03, the number 5 400 slot that Brett had on his 6 beginners in his 15 tips for beginners quick and dirty video. So GP03, what's the deal with this one? Why is it on the beginner slot? GP03 is an awesome Gundam from the movie Stardust Memory. Let's start there. Stardust Memory was so cool. Man, that movie was so cool. And the GP03 was freaking awesome. Like, it had all these attachments, and like it could go into like this super big mech version that like destroyed a whole bunch. Sorry. Anyway, moving moving on. Watch the movie if you haven't seen it. It's freaking awesome. It'll inspire you. GP03 is from the movie Stardust Memory. Where can you find Stardust Memory? Alright, if you're at the beginning and your starting point is the RX-78 Gundam, go up. And when you go up, you're going to look for a giant red X. That's Gundam Crossbone. So when you see that red X, go up. If you pass it, which is it's very easy to do, look for the blue and white letters for missing link, and GP03 and Stardust Memory are right in between those two sections. GP03 is a 400 cost on death shooting type. So since it's a shooting type, you want to go at lightning gear to get like extra movement and extra lock on for your ranged weapons. That's really what it's good for. So a shooting type in this game means that it has more emphasis on range than melee. It's not telling you how to play the Gundam or mobile suit, it's just telling you that it's a shooting type and that's what its focus is. So as always, we start off with movement, and I couldn't find any special movement animations or, you know, any special tricks other than his R2. His R2 has a little bit of mobility, a little bit of utility. It can't dodge incoming fire like say Talgies or Epion or something, or the GP02, but it does have a really good pop-up animation. So it's got some range on it. You can flip away in any direction if they're trailing you or if they're rushing in or something like that. You can flip, pop them up in the air, get some good damage in. With GP03's kit, what you see is what you get. Like, there's nothing really hidden. He fires double bazookas for his range. If you hold it and charge it up, he fires a rifle that shoots 3 shots. He's got a missile launcher that has 2 different types of firing modes. There's neutral, which is the big 3 missiles that I showed you just a moment ago. And then there's like a scatter missile, which shoots smaller missiles out that come in at an angle. And then he has his large cannon from the bigger version that I was telling you about, which you'll see in a moment. During his burst, during his gear activation, he doesn't have any extra movements that I could find. Everything that I found was pretty simple, pretty straight to the point. Sort of like the F91. You know, like they're just solid. They just do what they do. You know, what you see is what you get, type of thing. When activating the gear, whether if it's lightning or blazing, whichever one you choose, using his burst, he transforms into the really big mobile armor that I was telling you about earlier, and just rams the barrel into your enemy and shoots them up into the air, which is awesome. It does a lot of damage, like 285 damage. Amazing. But it does make you a giant target at the same time, but hey, it looks cool. That's all that matters. So some reference for playing GP03. Alright, so I'm going to speak from my perspective, and that's why I'm showing these matches the way I'm showing them. From my experience one-on-one, I had a bit of a tough time, but it was like a welcoming challenge, not like a, oh, I hate this Gundam kind of challenge. Alright, the reason why Brett picked these 6 Gundams is because they help you focus only on the fundamentals of the game, which is all movement. And if you have a hard time doing all the movement basics like boost step, boost dive, boost hop and all that stuff, Like if you have a hard time with the basic movements, you're gonna be forced to learn the basic movements. That's what's good. That's what's really good for a new player. Like you want to learn that stuff, because in a one-on-one fight, even if it's 2-on-2 and you're still paired up one-on-one, you have to be able to move. GP03 has some long animations to his moves, and you know, like even with his large cannon that he fires, you know, he's sitting there for a long time. Even if he hits the enemy and he makes them, you know, knocked down to the ground where they're invincible, he's still firing the cannon. So you have to clip that animation and cut it off with a boost dive, you know, otherwise you're just going to get hit. And that's one thing that you really have to keep in mind. Like mobility makes him awesome. Like you can do a lot of good stuff. Like if you want to be, so some suggesting, if you want to be like a type of partner that helps out your friend or your teammate who's rushing in, GP03 is great for that, and that's what makes him good for beginners. I don't know why Brett took him off his list, but he is really good for all around type of gameplay. And that's really all I have. I mean, just kind of focus on what makes him good, and I think you'll be solid, like covering the core elements of the basics, and I think you can go pretty far with him. He is good for beginners. I would say more if you're like, you need a challenge type of beginner, you know, like, or maybe you've been playing for a couple weeks and you're like, I kind of just want to do a lot of damage. You know, GP03 might be a good start for you, or might be a good reference point to opening your, you know, expanding your ideas and your avenues. And that'll be it for me, guys. If you're a veteran and you know, like you main GP03, or maybe you have some tips or some advice or some combos or some numbers, some analytics, leave them in the comments below. I love seeing veterans give new players tips, like in my other videos where like they're like, hey, you know, hey guys, you know, here's something really cool for you to know while you're playing this Gundam or something like that. It helps out a lot, because my videos are for quick reference purposes to you know, maybe give people some insight. Maybe they haven't played Gundam Versus yet, or maybe they're interested in the game, or maybe they just don't know what's out there because there's over 100 Gundams in mobile suits. But yeah, that would be really cool. I love when veterans help out other new players in the comments. It really helps them out, and it helps me out too, because I'm learning also. I'm still new to the game. But other than that, leave a like if you like the video. Subscribe if you're looking for more information like this, quick references on other Gundams and mobile suits. And as always, I will see you guys later, and I hope to see you out on the battlefield. Peace.